Hello, beloved ones. Hamutseme here. Good morning, good day, good night, wherever you're watching this from. So let me know where you're joining me, and yeah, just say hi, say hello. Yeah, I'm just here to invite you to the 3-day unapologetic presence and pleasure key code activation. So Hamutseme is my name. If you are watching me for the first time, I help you break free from generational toxic imprints and patterns so that you can attract soul aligned relationships and abundance. And that means for that to happen, you gotta embrace you. And what I find actually with the codes that have been coming through a lot, especially when it comes to sexual guilt, shame, and fear. And when I'm talking about this, it encompasses a lot of stuff, including even sexual infections. Because when it comes to anything sexual, we don't want to relate with it, and often there is, like I said, shame, which is the denial of the self. Because when you look at it, even when it can be like sexual infections and whatever that may have happened, whether it happened once, no matter how long ago, the most important thing is how did you feel when you experience that? Because this is how things get logged in our body, where at times, even when you're having sex, you feel like you are dirty. You do it, but you don't want to do it. There is a certain level of shame around it. At times, it could be because there has been abuse and all that. And when we look at it, at times you realize that it goes deeper than just you know. And you may have not experienced any kind of abuse in your life, or even nothing to feel guilty about, but there is that energy that is just present in your energetic fields. Because even here's the thing, as much as we may talk about like the whole victim, like something happened to you, somebody did something and all that, at times you realize that yes, there are people who experience, you may be experiencing that, or there are people who are experiencing that, but then there is this guilt. Where's the guilt coming from? What is it that your ancestors did? you know Because when you're talking about you, like I said, the you is always bigger than who you are, as in like the physical presence. So if there is a certain energy of something that has been done, you will just be overwhelmed by the experience of that, but you don't have any memory of anything happening. You can't remember anything, but there is a part of you that somehow is always contracting, is overwhelmed by this energy, and you wonder, where is that coming from? This is why when we looking at that oneness and a lot of things that we often don't want to be associated with, it feels better when we judge other people on it, and at times you just may just be triggered by things that people are doing out there. And it's quite interesting because when I'm talking about this, the energy that is coming through so strongly, it's more the throat, which is the expression, and also the heart, especially at the back. And there is also kind of like that pride and the resistance, like not wanting to move on, especially from the masculine side. That's the energy that is expressing itself as I'm speaking about this. So these are the things that, especially when you're talking about all these things, sometimes people think that, oh, if I show up, then they're gonna think whatever about me, but it's not about you. Because at the end of the day, if you're doing the work, you're doing the work releasing whatever that happened in your lineage. You are also releasing your children from whatever that may have happened. You may be wondering what I'm doing. There is just energy that I'm actually unlocking from the Bisakman, whatever, the left hand. Yeah, this is kind of like one of those things. So at times that's it's just like what happens where there is a certain reaction. There's something that needs to be done somewhere in the body, and it's quite interesting. And I don't think it's even surprising that I was led to the hand, and whatever that needs to be unlocked there. Because on the other hand, when it comes to you feeling dirty, feeling like you are alone, no one loves you, feeling defenseless, powerless, and all that, the denial of the self is also the refusal to receive. You don't unconsciously do it, but somehow it blocks your receiving, because if you're not receiving yourself, you can't receive anything that you want, whatever abundance and all that. So this is the beautiful thing, that when we do this work, we're going to dive deep to find out what is it that has been interfering with your receiving of yourself. And when I'm talking about receiving of yourself, I don't know, somehow I can't even. So just take a deep breath wherever you're watching this from, because it's just a lot of energy that is coming through. This is why it's kind of like I can't speak properly. So when it comes to the receiving of yourself, it's that self-love. But what is self-love? When you receive yourself, when you love yourself fully, when you feel worthy, you are worthy of being taken care of, you are worthy of being loved, you are worthy of also receiving the resources that are here on this planet. But if at all there is certain level of guilt, wherever that is coming from, like what is the core of that? But if you are creating from it and you are not even aware of it, that means it blocks a lot of your receptors, right? Whether it's the expression of yourself, whether it's the receiving of your gifts, whether it's the receiving of relationships, anything that is nurturing. Anything that is nurturing is something that you don't want to receive. And here's the thing, why it's kind of like there is a lot that is coming from deep within the throat, a lot. When we talk in sexual guilt, whether there has been rape in your ancestral lineages, villain perpetrators, whatever, all that, there are some dark secrets when we go back in the past and find out what has really happened, what has transpired. When I check in with ancestral lineages, there's a lot of things that have been pushed under the carpet that people are not willing to look at. And at times and I know this may rub some of you who don't want to hear this the wrong way. Sometimes people run to the religions because they don't want to deal with the deity that has been there for a long time. The deity as in like really doing the work to say, what have I done? What have I created? Because at the end of the day, you are one with all that is, and your ancestors are one with all that is, and whatever circumstances that may have led to certain actions, as when we're talking about karma, like is what we're throwing around. But at the end of the day, what it means is just like there is consequences for anything that you're doing, right? If you do good things, they'll come back to you, and not so good things, they'll come back to you. It's more like you get to be responsible, you get to be intentional, you get to choose, and sometimes people were just reacting out of whatever emotions, and they did whatever they did. At times when people are taking action from that separation consciousness, when people are taking action from the scarcity, poverty consciousness and all that, and yeah, there's a lot of things that have been done, a lot of actions that even when we look at this life that we live in right now, we may look at it and, like I said, make it about yourself, but it's not about you. It's about, we are undoing a lot of things that were done in the past. That's what we working on right here and right now. And I'm just being called to actually share this, because at times when you realize that there is even a lot of conflicts within the family, and we can make it about race, all racial stuff and all that. But on the other hand, when we dig deeper, you realize that whether it's slavery, because that's what is coming to the mind, whether it's slavery, for that to happen, for anyone to have access, into your tribe or whatever, there there is someone within who has opened the door for the outsiders, right? Even if you can look into your family right now and say, okay, fine, what is really happening here? You realize there's a lot of things, but at the end of the day, it's one of you that gets to do that. Even if you feel like someone is doing something to you, like I mentioned, I think it was yesterday, that at times we may not agree with something, especially when you're talking about hexes and all that. But on the other hand, if our soul knows the truth, but often we don't want to listen from what our soul is saying, we choose to sort of bring the mind and sort of put everything at the back, right? So if you resonate with something, it's something kind of like, you know, when you listen to something, it's kind of like, your mind's like, no, but then something is like, I mean, like I said, when I say listen to the body, I usually invite people to listen to the body. You may listen to something, and then there's a part of you kind of like you're having fear that is just like coming through when you hear this conversation about the guilt, shame, fear, a lot of things that may have been done by your ancestral lineages. And there's a part of you that are like, whew, I don't want to look back into where I come from and what has happened exactly. But on the other hand, there's a part of you that knows that there is something, right? But you want to put this blanket of we are this nice people, you know, and it's this whole right, wrong, judgment, and all that. That's what we learn. You know, it doesn't mean that it's being wrong or right or anything. It's kind of like what circumstances did your ancestors find themselves in that led to certain actions being taken, you know. Even when I talk about, I think I've mentioned it before, it's quite interesting because I'm talking about sexual guilt and shame, you know, and what is coming through even here. Ooh, what is expressing itself right now as I'm speaking is the prostitution, you know, which is more, there's something that we don't want to associate with, but it's like a big archetype that exists in humanity where we are often prostituting our soul for something. I want, if you are the person who often makes decisions based on the fear of not being safe in terms of security, you know, you can be in relationships where you are not, you really don't want to be there, but on the other hand, it's kind of like, but I also love that this person can provide for me, you know, and then you get to just sit there, but it's toxic, you don't want to be there. But on the other hand, it's kind of like, but how will I survive if I get to leave? You know, you don't have faith in yourself, you don't have faith in your abilities. So the only way that you think you can make it is for you to just ride the wave. And ride the wave means, it means going against anything within you that is telling you that you don't get to be here. It means going against your body when it doesn't want to be penetrated, and you're just allowing your body to be penetrated because on the other hand, you're looking at that check, right? It means you staying in a job that you don't like, that you hate every day, and you know how you feel when you are there. But on the other hand, it's kind of like, what can I do? I love that it's paying my medical aid and all the stories that we tell ourselves. So it's a lot of stuff when it comes to this whole sexual guilt and all that, because I always tell you that this energy is connected to your purpose, is connected to creation, you know. And these are the things that exactly what I've mentioned. If you are living in fear, all this fear, that means you are not willing to embrace yourself. You are denying you are denying yourself because you are more looking into whatever that is. And it's quite interesting because as I'm speaking about this, the energy is taking me just directly into the whole womb, pelvic area, and all that. So if you feel called, like I said, this is worth $2,664, 3 flipping days, and I'm counting with 90 minutes minimum daily, and with an opportunity of asking questions as well. You're going to have replays, you have lifetime access to this. And yeah, it's 3 days. So for those of you who know, for me to have a session for 90 minutes, yeah, it's not because it's deep work. So this is something that you don't want to miss, and you are getting this for $497. But the sales page is not yet out there. If you kind of like listening to this and you're like, you know what, whatever, I'm in, send me a message or comment below. I'm all in. Then I'll send you details, and I'm giving you $100 discount for being decisive and trusting your soul, trusting your body. You know, here is to abundance, is to flow, here is to, like I said, unapologetic presence and pleasure. That is you embodying your magnetic confidence. That is you choosing to create the life that you desire. That is you choosing to receive all of you. As I mentioned yesterday about even the breaths that were coming through, you know, this is like the energy that is taking us there, that is taking us to yourself. There's a lot of work that we get to do. And one other thing that I can say, like I said, if you have got like some sexual infection that keeps coming back and all that, be open to some spontaneous healing. Because when we go deep here, you will be surprised when you go back to your doctor and it's kind of like everything is cleared and you're not taking any of those, whatever that you've been taking, right? So that's the magic of this work. So I'm inviting you to you if you're feeling open. I can't wait. And I wish you a wonderful, magical, and orgasmic day, night, morning, wherever you are. I can't wait to hear from you how you feel. I can't wait to experience and witness your heart opening, because I can just feel the whole chest. It's kind of like it's opening up. And I hope you're the kind of person who gets to receive yourself. You've been denying who you are for a long time, and this is the moment where your soul is calling you to say you deserve to receive you. You deserve to fall in love with you. You deserve to experience orgasmic bliss and abundance in this lifetime. You can't continue creating life from the old templates of your ancestors. You can't continue living your life being limited by sexual shame, guilt, and all the fears. So are you going to say yes to yourself? Are you willing to embody your unapologetic presence and pleasure? Because these are the codes that we're going to be activating. We started next week. No, not next week, on the 16th or Friday, 16th, 17th, 18th, but it's Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, 9 p.m. Central European Standard Time. And yeah, if you have any questions, let me know. If you know some people who may receive, who you want to invite to this, send them a link, because yeah, there's going to be a lot of transformation. And please let me know what you received from this. I can't wait to connect with you on this 3-day unapologetic presence and pleasure. Khamutsime is my name, and I help people embody their extraordinary self, attract soul-aligned relationships, and abundance. So if you feel called as well to jump on a call with me, send me a DM, or I'll drop a link and then you can book a call. And if you know anyone who can benefit from this, let them know.